Self-punishment. Big business. There's so many ways we punish ourselves. More unconsciously than consciously. Part of this now is not seeing ourselves, not listening to ourselves, not understanding ourselves, not giving ourselves the time of day. Who we are, what we are, why we are. All of our energy is focused outside. This must be done, must reach here, must have this, must attain this, must give this, must pay this, must. In the must now also there is much stress, because it is not that we must do this, it is we must do this. Now peace is also gone. As we are focused outside on the apple, the ball, the this, the that, relationships are also the same thing. The parents, the siblings, the spouse, the offspring, the colleagues, the boss, the da. So we understand interaction coming and going outside only. Internally now what? Somebody tells us something from outside. Negative. We'll believe them because we don't know any better. We are not sure whether what they observe, what they think, what they say is correct or not. I cannot see myself. They see me. Perhaps they are correct. If they happen to be a person that we respect or that we find higher than ourselves, more the reason we will take what they say. Sometimes it is true. Sometimes it is not. But how to tell? If we are not in conversation with ourselves, if we are not only watching ourselves, listening to our thoughts, seeing what emotions are there, what we are feeling, how we are processing things, then how will we come to know? Whatever we are told and fed, that is it. You need this. Okay. You should do this. Okay. You should be like this. Okay. Free will? The free will is there, but in accepting all that comes our way. Okay. That is not very self-empowering. That is not very good self-awareness. You tell me what I am, how I should be, what I could be, what I would be. To argue's sake, the mind will come up with anything. I cannot see myself, I cannot hear myself, I don't know. How will I come to know? What is the way to know? It will continue asking questions that is not interested in the answer. For example now, when a small child learns to walk for the first time, they don't think and calculate, okay, I must now stand up here at an erect position. My head should be over my heels. In between also should be straight and stiff. Not too saggy, but not too stiff also that I cannot move my legs. I must put one leg in front of the other, making sure it does not cross over to the other one, but make sure that it is in aligned with its own alignment. Blah, blah, blah. It does not sit there and think so much. It wants to walk, it gets up, it tries to walk, it falls. Again it gets up. Again it will try to stand. Again it will try to walk. 2 more steps it manages, then falls. Again same thing it will repeat. 3, 5, 10, 15. Keeps increasing, no? He's not calculating and thinking, but because already why you? Why and how come? He does not fall the first time and say, oh, I am useless, I cannot walk. Defeated. He does not think that maybe I am not destined to, or maybe I can know, all these nonsensical things that come up in our mind. What is the purpose of them? Why do we do that once we are an adult? Because we are able to think, we will think nonsense. Where is the logic in that? Where the mind is required, use by all means, and properly and nicely and happily, joyfully. But where it is not required, let it rest. You will not take a spoon to mix atta for roti. You will not use the broom to wipe up liquid spill. Why is it that we involve the mind in our spiritual journey or in understanding ourselves or understanding something that is beyond the mind? We are not our thoughts. We are not our beliefs. We are not the things we are fed. We are not what we are told. And if not that, then what? If we are not what we call ourselves, then what? That is the fun of it. That is the process of it. ये नहीं तो फिर क्या? उसके अतिरिक्त क्या? Okay, if it is not left, then it must be right, because there is no in between, or there is no partials, angles in between. Also, degrees are there always, physically also, energetically also. It is not the person is either happy or sad, happy or mad, happy or something else. There is a mixture. We can be semi-joyful. We can have a bit of sadness there also. We can be a little upset over something. A mixture can be there. Little bit of this, little bit of that. But how will one recognize? Unless we feel it. What are the different types of emotions? They are named just so we can identify. For identification purpose, there the mind comes into play. But the process of feeling cannot involve the mind. The mind is the printer. It is not the processor. Now we will feel it. We will process it. Sadness feels like this. But why am I sad? What thoughts are coming to mind? Maybe a little lonely. Maybe not effective. Maybe not good enough. Maybe whatever it is that is bothering us. But listen to what the mind has to say there. Listen to what we are telling ourselves, what we are feeding ourselves. If we are telling ourselves we are incapable of walking because we fell after 2 steps, whether we are overthinking, no, before I try to get up and walk again, I must make sure that I have the entire calculation and the entire measurement and the entire thing ready first. Perfection first. I will not try first. I will make sure it is perfect. Then only I will go. I cannot bear the shame and the agony. And if someone laughs at me, then what will become of me? Who is this me? That is also not us. Not the person laughing, not the person laughed at. If not that, then what? Going further, seeing. If not the calculating, if not the calculated, then what? If not the measuring and not the measured, then what? If not the speaker and not the listener also, then what? And do not try to categorize the self in more mental terms. Come up with different labels, more things to confuse us further. Perhaps nothing in particular. Because sometimes it is a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of the other thing that we don't know about. Plus some other things that we are not yet aware of. Little undefined. Little unlabelable. Not completely right, not completely wrong, not completely grey either, not completely colorful either. Now what? Sometimes very colorful, sometimes very vibrant, sometimes we are a peacock and other times we can be a swan. Sometimes we can be a duck. Other times we are a chicken. Other times we are a pigeon. Other times we are a parrot. Today something, morning something, evening something, midday something, changing constantly. But who will notice this change if we are not paying attention? Other person is also wrapped up in this as they're going through the same waves, the same circles, the same uncertainty. We can only recognize what we are familiar and what we know of. What we've been told something is, do not believe that. Do not believe. What we've been shown is something, not necessarily is that. Do not believe. What we have said, though definitely do not believe. Things are beyond the physical. They're beyond the senses. They're beyond finites. Definitely the soul is. And when we go closer, we'll find that everything else is also life. Everything else also has a soul. Everything else has a consciousness. So then how can it be segregated and categorized into the things that we have labeled as finite? They cannot. They will not. The more we force, the more miserable we become. The more we are certain that we are whatever it is we want to classify ourselves, good, bad or ugly, the more miserable we will be. The more we want to believe that we are whatever it is, the more miserable we will be, good, bad or ugly. Beliefs, opinions, classifications, judgments, guesstimations, anticipations, preemptings, all have to go in order to see कौन है, क्या है, क्यों है, कैसा है, and enjoy the entire process. अच्छा मैं ऐसा भी सोचता हूँ, मैं ऐसा भी महसूस करता हूँ, मैं ऐसा भी, मैंने ये यकीन कर लिया, कैसे कर लिया? Laugh. Enjoy it. It's not a very serious process. The whole point is to let go of the seriousness. The ego is very serious. The mind is very serious. The will is very absolute and very... Soul is a little bit more playful. Nature is a little bit more playful. Energy is a little bit more playful. Let it happen. Go with the flow inside. Don't torture self. Don't punish self. Don't force self. See what happens.